your feelings.
I know, truly.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, do all of the things. If you want to listen on Spotify, leave us a rating.
This could be the last episode. This could be the last episode ever, okay? This tornado could take us the fuck out. Please
You
do.
heard the lady.
Hello, and welcome to the All Nighter Podcast.
Where the insomniacs come to get silly. And we're your hosts, Ashlyn Benson, Alexis Leach, and Rhonda Lou.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Hello, y'all. How
We've
the
got
heck
snacks
are y'all
and
doing?
tea.
Yes.
Lots of things
We've
to
got
talk
all
about.
the goodies. Yeah, there's an endless amount of things to talk about. I will admit, like, I fell further behind on the news this week. So I have some catching up to do still. But yeah, there's still plenty to talk about that I am aware of.
Right, yeah. There's just too much craziness going on.
Yeah, we went to Austin this last weekend with our family and stuff. And that was sick. For a lot of reasons, just getting quality time with family, but getting quality time with Raya. And I think that was like the best part of all of this, outside of like getting to see our family that was in the hospital and stuff. It was almost like we were just living together for a couple of days, and that was sick.
Yeah, she started to dig it. The first day she was like, can I go back home?
I know, she was like, my house? Can we go back to my house?
But she did really amazing for the 8-hour drive, but it definitely was because the auntie was back there. If you hadn't have been back there, then she probably would have lost her mind a little bit.
Yeah,
I
we
got
were playing
bored.
games and stuff pretty much the whole time. Like she slept like maybe half an hour on the way there and half an hour on the way back, but for the most part, she was awake and playing and being silly.
Being a
Yeah,
little
sometimes
cutie.
just chilling. Sometimes she was just, I would look back and she was just zoning, looking out the window.
Yeah, exactly. And well, like that 8-hour drive or whatever turned into like 10 and 11.
My
Both
God,
the
it
way there and the
always
way
does.
back.
And like freaking the traffic was insane.
The construction was crazy.
It was just wild, but it was really good to see family and stuff, and especially Aunt Martha, because it's been a long time. Like, we've seen Brian and Chris periodically, but like Aunt Martha, and I wish we could have seen Uncle Ruben in person, but I'm sure we can FaceTime him again still, and
Yeah.
but yeah, it's crazy, but freaking Aunt Martha looks the same.
Dude, I know. She's like, honestly, I mean, she just doesn't age. Like, I mean, she looks the same as when we, when we met her. It's ridiculous.
We gotta
like,
get
wow.
our secrets.
I know, seriously. Like, what's your skincare? Because it's like porcelain all the time.
Oh my goodness.
Porcelain, baby.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I'll admit I was so tired when we got back. Like, because
how'd the mic go after that?
I mean, I had a lot of fun. It was really nice. But I was so just like the delayed processing was like at a max, as far as just like operating socially and stuff, like my brain was just working at like half capacity, and I was like trying my best, to speak to the room coherently and whatever. But, and I performed that night too.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, then like Wednesday, I was so tired. Like Wednesday was probably the day that I feel like it like all caught up with me, where I was just like, oh God. Because like I just hadn't been sleeping very much the whole trip while we were there, and then like once we got back and whatever, I was still I still had a lot of catching up to do as far as sleep went.
Did you actually catch up?
Yeah, well, Wednesday was like my KO day.
I know. I was like, I think you were like not responding like in the group chat, and I was like, she's probably like
out.
on another level right now.
Yeah,
she's in another realm.
Exactly. Yeah, I was in the abyss, dude. And I guess I needed it.
Right. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Because in Austin, man, it was it was hot. It was like humid and hot, and
inside and out.
Yeah, inside and out in HEB, like anywhere we were, it was like toasty and humid, even inside.
Oh my gosh.
There's no relief.
That would drive me insane.
Yeah, and so like I feel like I was definitely getting dehydrated a lot faster, and so it was almost like I was trying to adjust my tube regimen to almost like what it would be like in the summer here, you know, which is a lot more frequently and stuff. But it's like the first day and a half, like I was just kind of doing it like normal, and then I was like really starting to feel it because like there was a point in like every day that we were there that I would feel really bad for a little while. And I think it was just that, like I was just getting dehydrated or whatever. Thank you. Wow. Bless. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's so funny because I feel like, you know, having a tube and stuff, like in some ways, I think some people might think that would be more convenient than like eating. And I guess like if I didn't eat for normalcy and didn't get sick regularly, maybe there could be some truth to that or whatever. But for the most part, it just feels hella fucking inconvenient to have to nourish and hydrate that way.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say that's more convenient, really.
But it was crazy too. So today I woke up and on that I Knew It Would Hurt video, there was this lady who said that like someone had shared that video with her, and she was like saying that she has POTS and gastroparesis and these other things, and she was just kind of like relating to my struggle or whatever, and that like I don't know, like she was just being really sweet throughout the whole comment, and I was just like, huh, like I it's weird because like honestly, instead of like having like a big following, I don't really crave that or desire that in any way. In a lot of ways, the potential of that sounds very daunting and weird. But to like be able to reach different people that do actually understand, that's dope. That's really fucking cool.
Yeah, like I think like creating like your own little community, like I feel like and especially like, you know, people who are also going through like health issues like you and stuff, where it's like even if it's not the same health issue, you can still
relate to the struggle.
Yeah, especially on like the struggle of like how it keeps you from like daily life and stuff like that.
Yeah, and well that was something that she had put in the comment actually, was that I don't think most people would understand how much work it takes to just be functional, you know, and to just maintain weight and like all these different things. And I was like, bro, like, and I told her too, I was like, that kind of struck me, and I hope she has like, you know, good quality care and is taken care of in that way. But that in itself too is like, sometimes that can be a struggle as well. Like depending on what insurance you have, finding quality care can be a pain in the patootie.
We've kind of talked about that before.
Right, yeah, and like, well, I'll be having surgery next week, and I'm kind of looking forward to it because, like, my tube has been sticking out a lot, and like the balloon is just getting kind of deflated and old or whatever, and so like it's just made singing more painful than it already was.
Yeah,
because it's pushing out more, and I'm just like, ugh. So once I get that done, I feel like I'll feel a lot better, honestly.
I think you usually seem to do a little bit better after you get your surgery and stuff. Because, yeah, it's like right towards the tail end, you're like, oh, God.
Yeah, because it'll give me different issues over time, whether it's the balloon deflating or rupturing, and then it's all leaking and stuff, or the ports will break or whatever, and it's just like, or it'll move out of place, you know, and then I'm really dehydrated for way too long and feeling like ass. But yeah, I was really grateful that we were able to do the trip and stuff. For a second there, it almost seemed like we weren't sure if we were going to be able to make it, but I'm so glad that we did.
I know, yeah, and I'm glad Mom went. I feel like she was definitely like struggling with feeling sick.
Yeah, sickness and allergies,
coughing and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was impressed that she got herself out there still. So
yeah, and her demeanor was great the whole time. Like her cough sounded brutal. I'm not gonna lie to you. It sounded like borderline bronchitis type thing. It sounded really rough and just like almost painful because it was so incessant.
Because like as you were talking about your serious stuff, like Alexis's mic was falling all apart.
That's
I'm
what
like,
we like.
yes. Don't worry, I can multitask sometimes.
That's great. We'll see then if anybody was feeling too much heaviness or whatever, they could just be watching you and get the comedic relief right there.
You're welcome.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, like our mom's demeanor was so like pleasant and like sweet regardless of how she was feeling, and that was.
How did she feel after the shooting happened down there in Austin?
Yeah, we talked about it at Torchy's.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't know. I think,
Or just even like, how did you guys deal with it? Because I know Rhonda kind of told me how she felt, but I haven't heard from you really since you got back so far, other than in the group chat.
I think we were just like, whoa, that's crazy. And like, you know, I mean,
Good thing we didn't go out.
yeah, because like Dad had offered like, at some point where he's like, well, maybe you guys can like do comedy or like whatever. But we weren't like trying to like, you know, we were just there to like see family and stuff. And it was already just like exhausting.
A lot, yeah.
Traveling and stuff. So it's like anytime that we had to relax, we just wanted to relax, you know?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's definitely crazy, but it's not like, I mean, I feel like at this point, either it's like being desensitized or.
Right. Like you almost like wish it was
like
more
normal.
shocking than it is.
Yeah. And so it was just like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, just kind of, you know, I mean, definitely feeling for the people who were affected.
Absolutely.
But, you know, like, I mean, there's shootings here. Like, there was someone who died on in the Blue Dome area. Like, there was like a shooting
like
out there.
like last weekend or something like that. Or
well, there was definitely one that was like maybe a couple of months ago now. It's kind of hard to like tell time now, you know, where it's like, was that a year ago or was that like,
or was that yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think we like got scared or anything. You know, I honestly don't even think Mom got scared. It was just like,
yeah,
oh well, this is life, I guess.
Yeah, like that's absolutely horrible. But
which sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I mean, it shouldn't be so commonplace that like I mean like regardless of what city you're in, you can look up and see that there was like 3 shootings or whatever within the last week, and it's just like, but that one was more mass than a lot of the ones that we see here.
Yeah.
And so
that's why I was like kind of wondering what your guys' input was on it, since we don't have like shootings of that capacity, I guess would be the best word.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, like, I think one of the worst ones that we had in recent memory was downtown, and it was probably like 6 or 7 months ago or something like that. And like multiple people were injured, but I think the only like loss of life or whatever was actually the shooter or something.
I think I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, because I had a lot of friends who like lived downtown who were just like taking video of like all the freaking cop cars. Yeah, which it did seem like there was actually a pretty swift in both of these instances in Austin and the one that happened here. It seemed like there was a pretty swift response from TPD and Austin's PD or whatever.
It's just sad to think about because, I mean, I know when Ashlyn was going out, she definitely wasn't really having to really put in her mind, oh, there could be a mass shooting at this bar that I'm at. Because, I mean, you're what, 3 years older than us? Yeah. I remember when I was going out, I was like, you know, that stuff happens, but, you know, not in Tulsa. Right. Now I'm like, I don't like going out. Like, in order to have a good time, like, at a concert or something, I'm like, I have to be, like, drinking a beer or something and just not thinking about it. But I do, like, before I go any place, really, I kind of assess where I am and then kind of think of a plan, like, okay, if anything does happen, even if I'm a little bit inebriated or something, I need to know where I need to go if something does happen.
It's kind of like us when we were little, underneath the bed of my parents or whatever, in that hidey hole, and we're like, if a murderer comes, this is where we hide. We have a flashlight, we have a phone, we have like all this shit or whatever. And dude, we were anxiously prepared.
Yeah, her parents had like this cool
like bed frame.
Yeah, bed frame
that had like a crawl space underneath
and
it with like
it was
a
like a little
cabinet.
maze.
Yeah.
Like it was so cool, and we would go under there all the time, and like a little fort type of situation.
Right. Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually the same way when it comes to like going out different places. I do really enjoy going out. I do think like she had talked about on one of the last episodes, like even when I was a kid, I'm very social, and I think it is very good for my spirit and my endurance with all my shit. I think it's the most distracting thing for me from my symptoms. But I have, especially in recent years, gotten a lot more hyper aware of kind of like exactly what you said, like where to go. And if I'm ever like walking alone, I have my phone like already on the emergency like setting or whatever, like, like where you can make an emergency call without unlocking your phone. I just have that open in my pocket or whatever if I am alone for whatever reason. But thankfully I rarely am.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like ever since the pandemic, like that was really when like I started to get more just like anything can happen anywhere, you know,
Right.
at the grocery store or at a bar or whatever. Like, I mean, in general, I feel like bars like always have the potential of something escalating.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Chad definitely feels that too. Like I think he gets more anxious at bars specifically because people
Are more erratic.
Right. Yeah. And they, even if they might not act a certain way, when they're not drunk or whatever, when they're drunk, it's like kind of all bets are off, Yeah.
Freaking, I don't know. I think now I'm just like really navigating and like, like be on guard. But other than that, it's just like keep living, man.
Yeah. I mean, because it's just, I mean, like to some degree, it's like, I don't know, like there's only so much we can control.
Yeah.
There's only so much we can do to protect ourselves, and I mean, there's a lot that we can do to protect ourselves, but even when you do all of those things, it's not a guarantee that you will be protected or safe.
Right.
So it's just like, so it's like kind of trying not to let that anxiety like rule you, but just still being as vigilant as you can.
Like
be.
I remember there was that one dude that ran into Bricktown over on 71st and Memorial or whatever.
Yeah.
Memorial. Mm-hmm. And was like trying to stab people. I don't think he actually ended up hurting anybody, but I'm just like, why we got to be crazy like that?
Well, yeah, and even some people that I know were at Starlight like a couple weekends back, and like the partner of this woman was like pulling out of Starlight and like waiting for her to get in the car or whatever, but on her way out or whatever, this guy like started like harassing her, and then eventually like held a knife to her and stuff. Yes. So but then the partner that was in the car got out of the car while it was still in drive, because he was just like trying to get to the guy. And so but then the car rolled into Starlight.
Oh shit.
Yes. And then like they were trying to figure out who the guy was and like posting him all over Facebook and stuff.
They're like, hey, you seen this asshole?
Yes, dude. And like, they were very clear that like the majority of their experiences at Starlight and with the staff are like great and amazing and whatever. And this was just some weird outlier of a dude that shouldn't have, been out causing shit. But yeah, even like with shit like that, it's just like, I mean, I do go to Starlight, not regularly, but pretty often. And because they have like goth dance parties and stuff, and they do comedy shows and whatever. And I was, when I was reading about that, I was like, good goddamn, bro. Like that makes me uncomfy. And I
literally,
feel for those people.
Not last night, but the night before, one of my coworkers had her back door kicked in, like literally kicked in.
What the fuck?
And she lives out in Owasso, and it happened between like 8 and 9 o'clock at night, which is like literally. She said that, and I was like, "That's a really weird time for somebody to kick in a back door."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Yeah, that's what the cops said too." And I was like, "True crime."
So, but did they take anything?
No. So she had let her dogs out. She's got 2 pitties. which thank goodness, because I don't think that if the dogs would have been there that they would have ran off. But she said she let them outside, and the younger one, who's the male, was like, he's the more territorial or whatever, and he was like going crazy at their fence. And so then she brought him inside and went to go feed him or something like that. And she said she heard like this crazy crash sound, and she has a lot of cats. She does like a cat rescue. And she said she heard a crazy crash sound, assumed it was a cat, like knocking something over. Mm-hmm. So she went to look at what was going on. She didn't see anything. And then later she went into her garage, and you know how like, I don't think Ashland's has one, but some garages have like a door that goes into the backyard or something, mm-hmm. and then also a door that goes into your house. Mm-hmm. Well, her house has the back door that goes into the garage, or like a side door or whatever, mm-hmm. and that's the door that they had kicked in.
I see.
And yeah, she showed me pictures of it, and like the little, I don't know what it's called, but that little thing where the door like locks into place or whatever, that was like non-existent anymore. The wood was all split all crazy from like where the
like the
trim
broke.
or whatever. Yeah, the frame broke off. Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, oh my God.
That's insane.
Yeah, there was
bro.
like a footprint on her door. Oh yeah. I'm like, that had to be a pretty big man in order to do that.
Right, yeah.
Then she said that I think the dog was getting a little weird or something, or started barking again. And that's probably when they ran off. Mm. So I'm like, at least you got big dogs.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, so at our Aunt Martha's, like she had a pretty hefty like home alarm system
mm-hmm.
and stuff, and then she had like 3 or 4 locks on each of the doors. I felt like Sidney Prescott every time I was like locking all of them.
Ain't no murderer getting in here.
Yeah, dude, I thought it was pretty wicked, honestly. I was like, I respect it. But yeah, I mean, I sometimes I do wish that our shit had more locks. Like, well, one of our neighbors actually, she has like a Ring camera and stuff. She's got like a lot of stuff like that set up, and but then, you know, there's like all this stuff about Ring cameras being used for surveillance essentially, and it's just like, gosh dang, dude, like, can we not just have security? Yeah,
dude, and that's why like I don't use the Wi-Fi like baby monitors, because people mm-hmm. can hack them, and like there have been like reports
weirdness.
Of like strangers and stuff like talking to the baby through the camera and like all this stuff, and
mm-hmm.
so yeah, I just use the plug-in ones.
Yeah, because it'll like connect to other people's Wi-Fi and stuff, mm-hmm. and like I've read on like TikToks and stuff, where people will be like, it scared the shit out of me because all of a sudden somebody was talking and I didn't know who it was, and it was coming from the baby monitor. And
it kind of reminds me of like walkie-talkies, you know, when you like get like another
random
person's signal,
yes,
and then it was
exactly.
like a whole person's conversation.
Mm-hmm. And you're like,
how's this happening?
This feels illegal.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, that would freak me out, dude. Mm-hmm. I would not feel comfy with that.
Like, who the hell's talking to my baby?
I know, you weirdo.
Right. Speaking of weirdos and babies, have you seen any more of the Epstein files?
So I have like honestly kind of paused in my digging.
In your research?
Yes, since the trip, really. Just because, you know, I was just trying to stay present and not focus on all the bullshit. But mm-hmm. But I'm sure that there's more to be told, because even recently they were saying that like
they fired Christy Nome.
Yes.
Yeah, but she's just being moved to another position.
She's just being moved to another position, and they replaced her with just yet another shit stain.
Then another girl is replacing another lady, I think, that's getting fired.
Yeah.
And she is like just as bad as
I mean,
Christy Nome.
I know Pam Bondi got subpoenaed to mm-hmm. testify.
Yeah, and that one's actually going to be behind closed.
Lizard ass face. Sorry, go on. Tell me that bitch don't look like a lizard.
I can't actually. And no, but what was I going to say?
You said something behind closed.
Yeah. Pam Bondi, that subpoena.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no, but there's actually. I mean, who knows? Who knows? She'll probably be just as much of a loyalist as she was when she was in front of cameras. But there's a chance that under oath or whatever that she might, if she is behind closed doors and it is stuck to that room or whatever, that she might actually be a little bit more open about certain things and not so fucking combative. and not answering a single fucking question. But, you know, that's yet to be seen. Like I said, she very well and probably will be a loyalist to the death for whatever fucking reason.
It all does seem like all of, like, Trump's people, it's like they either take a class or he just is good at training his people of, like, how to not answer a question, you know?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
they all do it
to deflect
in the
to
exact
hell.
same way of, like, insulting or just completely redirecting the whole thing, you know?
I'm sure that they do go through some kind of press management or press training, rather.
Right.
That is, like, kind of built around his bullshit.
I love the rain, but I think it's supposed to be like tornado-y rain.
Naders.
Oh my god. Oh
But
my god.
just as long as they don't hit anybody. But I do kind of like the tornadic, like, like it's just always like, oh, what's gonna happen? You know, you're gonna see a cow fly through the sky, which I've never seen anything. I think that's why I also, like, I'm sure if I actually experienced a tornado in any fashion, then I would be scared.
We did see that funnel cloud one time outside of Mrs. Apple's. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and then I thought I dreamed it. I was like,
Oh.
Lord, listening in.
Oh shit.
That was straight up thunder.
That was thunder.
Oh, dang. Yeah, we may or may not have a shorter episode today because of because
The
we
weather?
got some weather happenings going on. I saw that you had the weather channel on down there though,
Yeah.
and I was looking at it. It's we're in the green right now,
Okay.
but
Not in that red.
not in that red, not yet.
It's moving in.
Yeah, but like I heard the birds like freaking out and shit outside of our apartment. So I'm like, they're prepping.
And the birds are going in circles.
See, well, like when I was little, like the thunder used to scare the shit out of me, but now being bigger, I'm like, ooh, a Tyrannosaurus Rex somewhere.
I love thunder. I will say, like, I don't love tornadoes, you know, when they actually form or whatever, but I do love thunderstorms.
I was gonna say I love thunderstorms. I just don't like tornadoes and them possibly stealing me away
Right, yeah.
into
wanna
the air.
off, yeah.
Have you ever had like a close encounter or anything?
Yes, we had a tree fall on our house when I was probably like 6.
Was that like the impetus of like kind of being
Probably.
scared of it all?
Probably. That was when.
Is it the house you guys are in now?
No, I had to have been younger because we call it the White House. We had White House, Brown House, and now we're the house we have now.
The house I will not mention. Nobody look us up.
Don't look at the color of my house right now.
But yeah, I feel like there was some. Oh yeah, so how are we feeling about the war in Iran?
Fuck shit.
Yeah, right.
You know, I mean, it's just stupid. It's all. I mean,
Bro, and then he's even like talking about like so he's had like a disagreement with Spain that kind of spans back a little bit, and
I
so
thought I
but
heard him saying something about Spain.
yeah, dude, and he even went on like he's so frivolous with his words and his threats and stuff that it is so.
Oh yeah, that's
there's
right.
that. Oh shit!
What
I don't know
the
what
fuck
that
was
was.
that?
I don't know, feedback somehow.
Sorry about that, y'all.
Ouchie,
I
ouchie.
will mute that for our listeners.
I wish Adam would
But-
respond because I'm like, who's gonna get riot? I mean, I told him about getting riot, but like, you know, now like with the rain coming in, I'm like, I want to get her before it's like,
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
I was gonna
probably
ask
be
if the
good.
daycare had mentioned anything about
Like picking
pick up or whatever.
Early.
Yeah.
You guys keep talking. Let me just call Adam. Really
Yeah,
quick.
you go check
Okay.
on your baby. Check on your baby.
But yeah, like he's like fucking like he's like actually what he said was that since Spain wouldn't agree to do X and Y or whatever, that he was going to cease all trades with Spain.
Yeah,
like
that's
not just
right,
do
yeah.
like tariffs or whatever or hike their tariffs,
Yes.
but just not trade with them. and I mean, like we get a lot of imports from Spain, different things, olive oil, you know, shit like that, and it's just like, bro. And then he was literally saying like, well, because Spain didn't want to let us use their bases and stuff, and same with I think, I can't remember if it was Greenland or Denmark or whatever. And he was like, oh, well, we, if we wanted to use their bases, we could just fly in and use them. They're not going to stop us or whatever. And it's like, bro, like...
That's not how that works.
Yeah, it's not how world order works. And, just general fucking diplomacy. Right. I think he's, like, so insecure that he's, like... just so like knee-jerk to create animus with anybody who like doesn't even really step to him, but just like doesn't bend to his will. And then he's just like, oh well we can essentially fuck you up if you don't. And it's just like it's so gross. Like it's
quite Hitler of you.
Yes, exactly. And well, dude, like so many people have really like started honing in on that, in that America is kind of becoming more of this Nazi Germany, not just inward like with immigrants and stuff, but outward with how we're handling these different situations. And like there's like a famous speech that someone in British Parliament gave like decades back, kind of like when they were voting on something that had to do with the Iraq War and whatever. And he was like most of us don't remember what it was like to be bombed. Like most of us are so far past those generations.
No, exactly.
Of like having any real cognizant.
We're privileged. We've never had to go through that.
Exactly. We're so pampered in that way.
Unless you're like a soldier that's over there already.
Yeah,
and, like,
or you lived in New York
right.
in 9/11 and stuff.
But even then, I don't know that it's like comparable to, especially like World War I. That shit was fucked up.
Right.
Like the trenches that they had to fight in, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
it was brutal, and World War I is the reason now that we have, World War I and II, but especially World War I, why we now have the no man left behind rule,
right,
and why they will try to get we will try to get our people back before leaving a mission or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Because we left so many people, so many of our soldiers in those countries at that time.
Yeah, and even our grandfather on my dad's side was a prisoner of war. Mm-hmm. And I mean, so many were that were in the military in World War II and World War I. Mm-hmm. But what that man was saying was essentially just like he was old enough to remember when there were different bombings and stuff in his lifetime when he was a kid, and he was like, the amount of
during those wars,
World War II, I think it was, like the amount of fucking like fear and panic that goes through your body and that sustains when when someone is at war for so long. Like I imagine the people in Ukraine have just spiked cortisol levels till forever, And,
I mean, I think it was World War I when England was getting quite bombed a lot, or was that II?
I'm not sure, but he was talking about two, so maybe it just happened in both.
Well, it was just making me think like there's a joke in Modern Family where Mitchell, Cameron's husband, is like they're doing this like group therapy thing with the whole family, and he's like talking about how Mitchell gets upset when Cameron leaves lights on in the house. He's like, I just ask you to turn the lights off whenever you leave a room, blah, blah, blah. And fast forward through the episode, at one point, he's like, it's like we're Londoners hiding from warplanes. Because, I mean, like, think about that, though. Yeah. Like, having to live in your home just in darkness at night.
Yes, and in fear.
Because you don't want the planes that are literally bombing these places to see you.
Right, yeah. And so, like, in that speech, he went so far as to say, like, do Iraqi women mothers not fear for their children?
Every morning I saw Dockland burning. 500 people were killed in Westminster one night by a landmine. It was terrifying. Aren't Arabs terrified? Aren't Iraqis terrified? Don't Arab and Iraqi women weep when their children die? Doesn't bombing strengthen their determination? What fools we are to live in a generation for which war is a computer game for our children and just an interesting little Channel 4 news item. Every member of Parliament tonight who votes for the government motion will be consciously and deliberately accepting the responsibility for the deaths of innocent people if the war begins, as I fear it will. Now, that's for their decision to take. But this is a quite unique debate in my parliamentary experience, where we're asked to share responsibility for a decision we won't really be taking, with consequences for people who have no part to play in the brutality of the regime which we are dealing with.
And do they not weep for some
We
greater
all bleed the
potential?
same blood.
Right, exactly. And the thing is that with war, you know, like say kind of what they did. They kind of did a more pinpointed operation where they weren't, you know, just bombing the general area of where that leader was or whatever. They were actually doing a full operation that was kind of more stealth or whatever. But what they're doing in Iran is indiscriminate. It is just, you know, like it doesn't really matter who it hits.
So they didn't even care if the Americans got out. Like,
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
It was like, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, and there was even a video of like a Marine.
The one that they broke his arm?
Yes,
Yeah.
and like his hand
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane, dude. And y'all claim to have respect for the military.
Oh, dude, yeah, I commented on it. And I was like, that man didn't even flinch. That is a true ass veteran. You can hear it.
Yes.
And people were like,
You
it's
saw it. You saw
Yeah.
a freaking break, and he
Yes.
didn't react like at
and he
all.
just keeps saying what he was saying, and like, I'm like,
at first I was like, I heard and kind of saw the snap, but I didn't like fully recognize what happened. And
Right.
then they were saying his hand, you know. And then when I rewatched, I was like, Jesus.
right? And like I had on my comments, somebody was like, "Oh, you can tell it's a fake arm, blah blah blah." And I'm like, as somebody who has seen
Bullshit.
plenty of like bone breaks, no, though if it's a clean break like that, that was a clean, and you can even see it like sticking.
The way it
you can
snaps
see the
and
bone like
yes.
sticking, like out, like poking his
jacket,
uniform.
yeah.
And I'm like, as someone who has seen many bone breaks in animals, like.
It was
Like
legit as
Max,
hell.
when Max broke his femur, that was a clean ass break, and dude, his leg was just like, like just dangled there until we took him
Right.
to the vet to have it fixed.
Yeah, and but like you said, like his just I don't even know what to call it, but his strength in being able to still just say what he was saying as that pain was just
Right.
rippling through his body, you know, like that's
It must
he
have
was in
been like
shock a little
rage,
bit, but
of course.
my God.
like rage pain.
Yeah, and I mean, but what he was saying held so much freaking truth. Like nobody wants this. Like even when they're polling, the Republicans themselves, they're like, well, not really. No, we don't really dig this. We don't really need this. And then like Trump goes on and on about like on his True Social or whatever. He was like, you know, well, Biden sent all of the good shit, the high quality shit to Ukraine or whatever, so we're lower supply on that. But as far as medium grade or whatever, he's like, we could basically fight war forever and we'd be fine. And it's like, don't say shit like that, bro. Like, nobody needs or wants to hear that. Like,
And also, no one is untouchable.
exactly, absolutely no one, and especially not us now that we're like losing allies left and right practically, you know. So it's just like he's
And it's
so
just so
cocky.
sad because he's supposed to speak for the people, and like,
Yeah, and
you're
we're-
not, bruh. Like,
dude.
it's just so crazy, and it's just so wild to me that people are still supporting him. Like,
I know, and then freaking Ben Shapiro, he's like talking about these different operations and the names that they have, like Tiger something or Lion something, and then like Epic Fury, and he's like all getting
I saw the
giddy
Epic
about it.
Fury one, and I was like,
yeah, I'm like, freaking relax, dude. Like, we should not be so callous so as to be excited about people getting bombed. Like, what kind of Christian can you claim to be if
Like,
you're
this
like
is the
stoked
whole-
about that?
like, this is the whole reason that they left England. They didn't want to be under a fucking king. They didn't want to continue to fight king wars.
They didn't want religious prosecution,
Right.
So like, what? And well, like, even when fucking Trump like is like talking about this stuff, he's all like, when he was talking about like, say, the Supreme Court going against him with the tariffs or whatever, which he's like weaseling his way around and whatever, he's just like, they don't care about the Constitution or whatever, and he uses that a lot with people that go against him, and I'm like, bro, I don't even think you know what's in the Constitution, because you're just like, fuck it all, it's my Constitution now, and I make the rules, you know. That's not That's not a real conservative. That's not anything remotely close to that.
Well, really, they rely on people who don't know.
Uneducated.
Right, yeah.
They, that's what they're betting on, is like, for those who haven't read the Constitution, they're like, this is what it says, and,
Yeah, and like even some of like his freaking generals or whatever, I can't remember the name of one, but the way that he was talking about what they were doing in Iran, it was just so nasty.
America, regardless of what so-called international institutions say, is unleashing the most lethal and precise air power campaign in history. B-2s, fighters, drones, missiles, and of course, classified effects. All on our terms, with maximum authorities. No stupid rules of engagement, no nation-building quagmire, no democracy-building exercise, no politically correct wars. We fight to win, and we don't waste time.
Freaking masculine right war, and that means just going in without any freaking care for anybody else getting hurt or whatever. And it's like, y'all are the wackest. Like, you're just actually messed up. And one of the podcasts that I listen to that talks about current events, Ben and Emil, like, Emil had said that, he's like, if you're, like, sincerely stoked for, this kind of thing happening and stoked about epic fury and, like, all this bullshit, it's like, he was like, you have the brain of a child. And I know that can sound, like, harsh or whatever, but as far as just it's almost like you lack understanding of what it actually means. Like, you're almost thinking about it like a video game, and like it's like this cool, fun thing. And it's like, dude, it's absolutely brutal and insanely cruel and inhumane and entirely unnecessary.
Yes.
And it's just like, there's no reason to be stoked about it. I couldn't get over it with all the different commentators that I was seeing talk about it. I was like, what is freaking happening to you guys that you just truly don't see human lives as human anymore? I can't get it. Like, like when they do that with women or whatever, I'm like, gross, disgusting, whatever. But then when they just do it generally with like the people of Gaza or people in Iran or whatever, it's just like, like I fear how brainwashed some of y'all have become. And it really just unsettles the fuck out of me. Like, I feel deeply disturbed when I'm watching these things. Like, it's not even like I'm watching this shit and getting pissed off. I think that's a lot of people's natural reaction and valid. But when I'm watching stuff like this, I feel so deeply disturbed and disgusted that these are the people that we have at the helm of our missiles and nukes and everything. I'm just like,
but God forbid a woman who has a period is in charge of it all.
Absolutely, man.
They're too emotional.
It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
Which really is crazy, because it's like we deal with monthly pain and like a bunch of other stuff that comes with the periods and
pregnancy.
It's just crazy because like guys, they stub their toe and they're like, Lord, like what you say, Alexis? You're like,
oh yeah, what did you say?
That I'm pretty sure men have what did I say? The pain tolerance of like a newborn kitten.
Unless you're that Marine.
Unless you're that one Marine that snapped his arm in the middle of a fucking
or really
protest.
Like any veterans, I feel like they've probably felt shit
they've
of
been
it,
tested.
Yes, but generally,
but the general man.
It's like, I don't think that they are as accustomed to feeling pain on such a regular basis. They get under the weather
and they're like, and I'm like, can
dying.
You calm down?
No, but it's like, it's crazy too, because it's like with birth and stuff too, it's like, you really, it's like, that the men couldn't understand, because it's like, you don't know until you're feeling it, kind of,
Yeah.
So it's like, with birth, it's like, everybody can tell you kind of like what it's like or whatever, but it's like, it's not until you're there where you're like, what the fuck? All the women go through this? Like, this is stupid crazy.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
You just can't believe it.
Well, didn't you say that even like when you were in labor or whatever, you were like, how did Donald Trump's mother deal with this shit only to have that shit out of
Yeah, I was on drugs. Because first I had IV meds and then Pitocin, or Pitocin then IV meds. But so I was very loopy, and then the epidural after that. But Pitocin is all. I'll be curious to see how birth feel or labor contractions feel without Pitocin, if that's a possibility this time around. But
Yeah, I would really hope for that to be this time.
Yeah.
I think that it might just.
I don't want it to
won't
trick
be
me
as
though and be like,
intense.
I can do this with epidural, like, you know. Or it's
Well,
like,
yeah. I mean, honestly, I just wouldn't go without that. Regardless.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. It's so funny because it's like, it's with mothers especially, like, it's like we're all, like, on the internet, like, so many people want to be like, have this fight about, like, if unmedicated is better or this or that. And I think, like, yes, like, women naturally can, like, there's things that are natural, and then there's things that the hospitals push you to do a little bit. Like, there's some of these elements that are true or whatever, but all birth is fucking valid, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Regardless of
Pain or
what
not, because
choice you make.
I
yeah.
will say, like, even if you did get the epidural, like, you still fucking feel the recovery pain afterwards. You feel
Yes.
the fucking tear. You feel the fucking shit, okay?
Yeah.
So, but it's just like, I
Yeah,
don't
if
know.
anything, it's just a brief respite.
Because
for a
it's
little
like,
bit.
we already have, like, so many, like, men and politics and things against us. It's like, women, why are we fighting with each other about this?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
just
Yeah.
fucking, it's the same thing with, like, formula fed or all this, where it's like, it's almost like it kind of turns into this fight of, like, the granolas, you know, or what are they called now? Like, they call them something else now. But, like, the granolas, like, against, like, the, you know, whatever. And it's just like, I mean, me having experienced the epidural, I was like, honestly, that shit was so dope. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like,
Wish you had done it sooner, kind of thing.
yeah, I should have just said yes first before they even gave me Pitocin, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I'm pretty sure, like, I'll do it again. I mean, we'll kind of see, but, as far as, like, I would just kind of want to, like, experience contractions a little bit first.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, fuck. Like, I don't know, you know? Like, I go back and forth because then I'm like, well, I don't want to miss my window to get the epidural or whatever.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
and
we'll
even
see.
just that, like, I mean, we're generally at risk for a lot more things just throughout our lives or whatever. But say, like, with the epidural or whatever, you are risking getting paralyzed. You
Yeah.
know?
And so, you know, I could see how that's some women's argument to, like, not get it or whatever. But,
Well, I was just speaking more to like the kind of risks that women have to take in one
Yes.
direction or the other.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because it's like they could risk getting paralyzed or they could risk, you know, just being absolutely traumatized.
because that's, like, really, like, the end goal is baby comes out healthy and alive, mama comes out healthy and alive.
Right.
That's-
And as long
what
as
you
that happens, like, no judgment ever
And
in
if
any
it
direction.
doesn't,
Yeah.
if something, you know, like, we have people in our lives where, you know, later miscarriages happen, like, later on and stuff. And that
Yes.
is, like, that's so hard on the mom because I think, like, no matter what, like, you can tell a mom, like, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
But there
And
is-
it's true. But as far as just the second guess, doubt that they can feel or just all these open-ended questions of like, oh, what if I hadn't done this? Or what if I had done that?
Like, it's hard to process, like, a traumatic birth, like, in general, when everybody comes out good and fine. Like, I
Right.
can't even imagine the things that you think and feel if, you know, something doesn't go as planned and your baby
Right.
isn't alive, you know? So, anyways. But,
Like, I'm sure regardless of what kind of birth plan or process you end up going through, I mean, going through that process regardless of how the end result occurs, it definitely, I would assume, changes, like, your brain chemistry in some
Oh,
way.
yeah.
You know?
I mean, every trauma does.
Yeah.
Every trauma alters your brain chemistry pretty, like, permanently.
And even
it's-
not just the physical trauma part of it, but also just mentally and
Yes.
even, and not even just the trauma, but like the good portion of it too. Like when you first hold your child and you get that first skin to skin contact, you know, stuff like that. I'm sure those moments change and alter, because I mean,
Your
that
hormones,
serotonin,
everything.
all the different hormones you're feeling at that point. I mean, I don't, I've never had a kid, so what do I know? But I'm sure it does. I mean, I can only imagine, you know, that type of connection, you know.
Yeah, and like the epidural didn't keep me from like
Experiencing
enjoying
that.
the moment with my baby when she was born. Like I was very much like
Exactly.
I maybe felt a little like sleepy and tired afterwards, but
But I'm sure everyone does. Yeah.
Afterwards.
but I wasn't like feeling pain, and that was awesome. Like it was very much like, this is so awesome. Like,
And
you know?
to some degree, it might have actually allowed you to enjoy the moment more thoroughly because you weren't in like paralytic pain. You know?
And because like some women too, like when they push, because like I did tear a little bit, like they're in so much like pain and stuff that they really
don't want to do it anymore or can't.
They can't process holding their baby immediately and stuff like that.
Right.
So you know, it's different for everybody. There's a bunch of different situations. And everybody's lives, pregnancies, births are different, and that's okay. Like that's
and
life.
like you said, all valid.
Exactly. Freaking valid. If you're a woman, you're valid. Okay.
Straight up though.
But like I will say, I have been like replacing like some of my old things that I like can't do while I'm preggy. Reality TV has been like
your new go-to.
New go-to, and so I started watching Love Is Blind.
So I see bits and pieces of it through a channel called Psychology in Seattle, where he like reacts to different like, you know, couple conflicts and stuff like that. So I've never watched a full episode or anything, but I'm familiar with different couples in some of the first seasons.
He had some of those points, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you watch it, Alexis, or no?
No, I've heard of it, but I've never actually like sat down and watched it.
I've never seen any of the seasons until this new season, and it was mainly a clip caught my eye that intrigued me, and I was like, okay, like I'm literally gonna watch all the way to this clip. But I finished it, and then I'm waiting for the reunion, and but it is, you know, it's a fun way to just
check out.
Like I mean, also reality TV is like so hilarious. Like whether or not, I mean, I like, so with Love Is Blind specifically, it is kind of hilarious because I don't know why, but like, so they have these like golden goblets that they drink from. So at first they're like in the pods, they talk to each other and fall in love through a wall. And then it's like, oh, okay, you think like that's just like a part of the pod's aesthetic. But then once they get engaged and stuff, they have to like live together and they like meet each other's family. And in every other setting, at other restaurants, at the family's house, there's the golden goblets and stuff.
You want to know why that is?
Because they can't have logos or drinks, or what?
No, because when they're editing, like if the glass is clear or whatever, you can see where the drink is at. So when they're cutting it up to make it look a specific way or whatever, they never have to worry about
continuation or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you know this? Like what?
Well, Psychology in Seattle talked about it actually.
Oh my god, well that solves that, but it was just hilarious where it's just like everywhere they go, it's just golden goblets.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
Well, now
Probably a flood warning.
Yeah.
Wait, why isn't mine going off?
Yeah.
Is that yours, Ron?
It must be, I guess, but I don't know where it is.
Or ours are gonna start going off any second. What?
Mine didn't say anything.
Well, I would like to know what the warning was.
Yeah, dude. Well, here, let me see if that's mine. So, well, do we want to end it here and then make our ways?
Yeah, I mean, it's 5:29. I don't know if y'all are getting scared over here.
Yeah, well, just to ensure that we all get home safely, we're probably going to cut it here. Thank you guys for tuning in this week and hanging out with us.
For sure, Z's.
You will probably see us sooner rather than later after this.
Tell me your thoughts about Love Is Blind.
Yeah. Tell us your thoughts about any of what we talked about today.
For sure.
Any of your feelings. I know, truly.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, do all of the things. If you want to listen on Spotify, listen on Spotify. Leave us a rating.
This could be the last episode. This could be the last episode ever. Okay, this tornado could take us the fuck out. Please do.
You heard the lady. We will hopefully see you next week. Goodbye.